In a creative financing deal, guys, there's three main profit centers that you're looking for. Profit center number one is going to be the equity. Profit center number two is going to be the cash flow. And profit center three is going to be the down payment on the property. You see, when you jump into these creative deals, this is where the money is made. It's made in cash flow, it's made in equity, and it's made on the down payment. And so what you want to do is you want to understand where the money is flowing in a deal. And that's exactly what I want to talk to you about today on this episode. So guys, my name is Ronald Walker. I'm the host here at the Forge to Win podcast on this YouTube channel. I'm excited to jump in because, creative financing changed my life. When I got into investing years ago, I started with wholesaling and I did a number of deals, and I've still done a ton of wholesale deals. I love wholesaling and fix and flip and buy and hold and all these other strategies. But it wasn't until I was introduced to creative financing and owner financing that I actually went full-time in real estate. Doing this strategy, I did 8 deals in 1 month, and I got invited into a partnership, and that led to me going full-time in real estate. So this is really close to my heart, and I'm excited to bring it to the table because it can change the game for you too. So when you're looking at these creative deals, you always want to start at the end. You always want to start as, what is the exit strategy? Where is the money to be made on this deal? Is your plan to turn around and wrap it and create a note? Is your plan to hold it as a rental? Is your plan to sell it on a lease option? And these exit strategies that you're coming up with, is it to use it on a land contract and sell it on a wrap land contract? Whatever that is, these options will dictate to you where the money is to be made in a seller finance deal. Okay. And there's 3 areas, like I said, that you can look at. You're looking at the monthly cash flow. You're looking at how much money you're going to receive as either a fee on a lease option or as a down payment on a wrap. And then you're going to look at the cash flow. And so you want to back into these deals. Now, when you're backing into these deals, no matter what you're looking at, here's what you've got to consider. When you're getting seller financing, there's a principal payment that you're making on the property, which is paying down the loan of the seller financing. Okay. There's an interest payment. If you have interest on it, if it's 4%, 5%, 8%, there's an interest payment that you're paying. Then you've got to calculate taxes and insurance in that total payment to dictate what is my monthly money that is going out. Okay. What you're paying. From there, then you're looking at and saying, okay, what is the money that I'm going to get in? And a lot of times what you want to look at here is you want to look at what the monthly rent is in the neighborhood. Now, you might ask, why would I look at the monthly rent? Would I look at the sale price and back down from there and figure out what that amount is? No, because when we're selling on seller financing or when we're renting it, we're figuring out what are people paying for rent. And when we're asking ourselves that, that's a lot of times what that neighborhood can afford. And so as long as that neighborhood can afford a certain dollar amount, if you're under that arbitrage that you are, that's your profit. So your principal payment, your interest payment, your taxes, and your insurance, all of that is your expense. And if you can get a payment above that, then that's the money that you're making. Now, if you sell this property, let's say on a lease option, you can get that cash flow. And then when the person executes the purchase of that property, the difference between the sale price or the option price with your seller and then the buy price with your buyer is your equity. And so that's on the back end of the deal. You don't make that up front, but you can make that on the back end of the deal, which is a really nice payday. And then on the front end, you can buy the property with little money out of your pocket or first month, last month rent. And then the buyer will give you a fee for the option to buy it. And so you can usually make a couple $1,000s to do the transaction. And then during that period, you can have $300, $400, $500, $600 in cash flow. But as you're looking at these deals, start with that exit in mind, figure out your expenses, ask yourself what the monthly rent is, and then whatever your criteria that you create, your buy box for these houses, you figure out what your profit is, and now you know what you can offer your seller. A lot of people ask me, Ronnie, what do I offer the seller in creative terms? There's so many options. Guys, it's really simple. Once you figure out how much profit you want to make, It doesn't matter if you're going to rent it. It doesn't matter if you're going to sell it on a lease option. It doesn't matter if you're going to wrap the deal and sell it on a wrap, which you can learn more. You can Google it or you can check out my channel. I'm going to have more on wraps later. But once you find out your strategy, start with the end, then back out your expenses, then figure out what the rent amount is for the area. And now you'll be able to negotiate with your seller because you started at the end and you backed your way into the deal. Once you back your way into the deal, you'll be able to determine, what am I able to offer the seller on those payments? Because that offer that you're going to bring to the table, that's what you're committing to if you're buying on seller financing. Now, you can wholesale these deals. You can assign your position. But if you're buying, which I hope you guys are considering buying and holding these, you got to figure out, what are you comfortable holding? What types of properties, what areas, and what is your investment criteria? You guys, if you guys are starting in wholesaling, guys, that's an entry strategy. That's a beginner strategy to get you some cash. The real goal here is to become an owner of real estate, to be a real estate investor and to maximize the benefits. And so if you can figure out and maximize, okay, how do I determine the profits on a seller finance deal? You can start with the end, figure out what your cost is, figure out what your profit is, and know what you can offer the seller. You guys are going to be one step ahead of the competition who are asking, man, what can I offer the seller? And then they offer too much and then they lose the deal, instead of coming to the seller and working out those terms.